think we are here. Being a little bit rusty over here. It's been a while, but I think we are good. So the teams are here. Both of them are ready. We are in the Suchin Distillery quarterfinals, and it is I Must Feed versus Amateur Opponents. And the teams are all ready, so I'm not gonna make a long introduction. And we will just jump into the first map, I think. So, former teams. Go. Or maybe not. Where is the game? Here we are. Okay. So, to give a quick recap of what's happened, we have the coin flip went in favor of I Must Feed, and then we had a ban on the ARA map by Amateur Opponents, followed by bans on Garden of Terror, Battlefield of Eternity on the side of I Must Feed, and another ban on Hannah Temple by Amateur Opponent. And we see Stukov as the first ban here and Segura as the second. I'm not surprised to see Segura being banned out. Currently seems to be a little bit busted. I see her doing top damage and siege in almost every game I see her in, if she's not banned out, which is usually the case. And so that's a very reasonable ban over there, the Segura ban. So these two teams, I Must Feed versus Amateur Opponents, they have faced off, of course, in the main round, the round robin phase, and I think it was Amateur Opponents who bested them 2-0 here. And however, I Must Feed with a better standing in the ranks, place 3. I think Amateur Opponents on 6, so we are gonna see an exciting match over here. Cassia and Valabang come out, so that leaves Asmodon open. That's an option here. For example, for I Must Feed. A lot of split push potential, but we go with the tank and pick up Stitches, who is also very present these days in these maps. Draft. So let's see how this draft continues. What is the answer on the side of Amateur Opponent? Stitches. The banners. And so far nothing really surprising in this draft. Let's see what they pair up here with the Stitches. Maybe we will see a Mefurion. No, it's gonna be Deckard. Okay, that's interesting. So no hard CC so far. Well, I guess Deckard is, but it's delayed. But is it delayed long enough for the hooked person to just walk out of there? I think Sylvanas can get out of there. Of course, there's always Anduin, but you want to play around that cooldown whenever possible. Is your Zero Tool ban now? And Must Feed. Response. Hello, Kaiser. Ogre ban. Okay. So, Amateur Opponents. They're looking for a tank here. They're looking for an off laner and probably a little bit more damage, unless they play something more experimental. Then it could be that they go double support or something like that. Triple booster. Oh, it seems like we're gonna see the usual composition here. We find a Chromie and Sonya. So, Sonya can maybe spear out the hook. Romy has nothing. I mean, I think later you can pick a turn where she changes shadow thing. If you want that. But that is an option. The D.Va and Greymane. So not a whole lot of CC on the side of I Must Feed to pair up with that Stitches pick. You see Deckard, and that's pretty much it. I mean, okay, there's the wall. You can pick slow on that. Maybe that's enough. We'll see. What's the last tank here? Hey. It's coming up. Let's see if someone here bobs around and tries to fool me. Seems like everybody set. Bro. Alright. Okay, so it's Infernal Shrines. We see a little bit of Stitches fishing here. 4 targets on the side of I Must Feed. On the other side we see something more straightforward on the side of Amateur Opponents. And then overlay here we go. And yeah, so let's see how it goes. And here we are. On the left, we have in the blue hooking. We have Kingle on Stitches, Bigali on Deckard. That? Lister Fiend on the Tacitor. And now I'm completely out of. Oh, there is a pause. That gives me some time. We see Sudden Bears on the D.Va. And we see North Terror on Greymane. There's a bug. And cast ability. Okay, that probably means we have to redo. Or a restart is in order. We will see. Alright, on the other side we have Cactus Hammer on Sylvanas, Butte Holiday on Anduin, Sonic's Bro on the Chromie, BG on May, and Euless on Sonya. We are in the game. First hook coming out, straight on Chromie. I mean, this is something we hopefully don't see that often repeating on the side of Amateur Opponents. Sudden Bears getting extremely low here. First mech being destroyed. And yeah, both teams are going just straight at it. And for rotation comes out on the side of I Must Feed. A little bit quicker here into the bottom lane. Amateur Opponents, they have to walk after that and make sure that they get the soak. On the top lane we have D.Va and Sonya, of course. We will keep an eye on the minimap for that. This hook misses and both teams keep the rotations up. So first camps are being spawned here. Let's see how we want to play it. Rotation advantage certainly on the side of I Must Feed, excuse me. And they opt to go for their own camp. As well as Amateur Opponent. Actually, it's only Cactus Hammer on Sylvanas who's doing that one. Whereas a blind hook by the Stitches finds nothing but a time trap. D.Va suddenly just comes down and takes the soak in the mid lane so that the 4-man rotation just can keep going, doing this camp and just going straight into bot lane for I Must Feed. So Amateur Opponent, they have some cleanup to do here in the middle. Sonya comes now down into the mid lane. And I Must Feed, they get the bottom camp out of this. So converting their rotational advantage here into one camp more than their opponents. Well played so far by both teams, both very disciplined, no needless skirmishes here, no needless deaths. Everybody is just trying to do their best here, getting all the soak done and making sure that they have everybody is safe and sound. Eva is coming here into the mid lane with a bomb ready. Let's see if Stitches finds a hook here. He finds one, actually on Cactus, but this is the haunted wave we were talking about before. So Stitches is just fine. And both teams are on the hard camps here in the top lane, making sure that they get this one out as well. Punisher spawns in the middle and it's gonna be an arcane one. So not the worst, but not the best. Of course you hope for that frozen Punisher. And let's see, like, if Sylvanas, if amateur opponents get this first Punisher on their side, they could make some serious push here with the Sylvanas. On the other side we have also a Grey main, so that also means a serious push potential. So both teams certainly do not want to miss out on this Punisher over here. Chromie with a burst damage. Stitches actually gets pretty low. Mei is charging in. And there's the hook over the wall. Endo needs some help. But Endo is just fine. Both teams are very close here in the Skeleton Defender. 16 to 17 now. With Chromie, Dragon's Breath, we see a couple more going into favor of amateur opponents. And Stitches again taking some damage here. Has to play pretty passive. Mei is coming in. Here comes a bomb by D.Va. Stitches however falls. And the drag on the tank on Mei here to make sure that Mei is just fine and not getting bursted out by this bomb. And 34 to 31, 37 to 31. This is gonna be a very close one. Amateur opponents, they try to zone I Must Feed out, but I Must Feed, can they get it? Actually, I have no idea who got it here. It is amateur opponent who just got it, but we had 39 on the side of I Must Feed. And now we will see how much push we can actually see here. In the meantime, 2 more kills going in favor of amateur opponents. And Sylvanas, of course, with the black arrows, trying to do some extra push here. Stitches not the best one to defend into this Arcane Punisher. They need some range damage, and here he comes. Greymane and Tassadar. Stitches, however, is the bear which needs to die here as the Punisher jumps in, and nice focus damage on the side of amateur opponents, making sure that Stitches falls again. And we have the 5th kill on the side of amateur opponent, a full level lead and a 4th advantage now in their hand. So that first Punisher, it was so close. And amateur opponent, they get it, and they actually get really good value out of it too. And they immediately have invaded the enemy camp with that further Stitch kill there. And now they are in the bottom lane, going for another camp. And they will reach level 10 pretty soon as well. Sonya with a double soaking here. Here come the level 10s. Let's see what we see. We have a slowing stance already on the side of Chromie. We see Light Bomb, Wailing Arrow, the Ice Wall, and Berserker on the side of Sonya. So I Must Feed. They must make sure that they are not feeding here now. And that they get their level 10s. Cactus Ham pretty far forward. Needs to dash out. And now it's Greymane who might be in trouble, but actually the Ice Ball misses. And Greymane has the tap. So that's one ult out on the side of amateur opponents. And I Must Feed. They are defending bravely here over the bottom forward. Wall is down, however, and the next Punisher will spawn in bottom lane. So well played by amateur opponent, opening that lane, making sure that they can get even more out of the next Punisher should that one fall into their favor. And you know, if they push into the bottom lane and amateur opponent, I Must Feed, they have trouble defending that. That's the fountain gun down there, and that makes it so much easier for amateur opponent to actually get that Punisher. So now we see Black Hole, we see Bunny Hop actually on D.Va. Gorge, go for the throat, and stay a while and listen. Still more than a level lead here on the side of amateur opponents, but both teams now on level 10. And this Punisher should spawn pretty soon. Both teams are ready to grab the top camp. Andon here is holding. Actually, wait a second. I must feed. They decide, no, we are not going for this camp. We actually want to go down here into the bottom lane and see what we can do. And I think they must have been concerned about losing that fountain. And this is why we decided to not take that camp and just go down here instead and make sure that they do not lose this fountain. So we are trading this fountain basically for a top lane push against them through this camp. And we will see how that turns out for them. Level 30 now being reached on the side of amateur opponent. Greymane in big trouble, gets hooked over the wall by Stitches trying to save him, but that didn't work out. Mai had a good blizzard there right in the middle. And now with Greymane dead, can amateur opponent actually really contest over this one? I'm not so sure. Maybe if I get a lucky hook. Stitches tries but doesn't find anything. It looks like we are giving this one up. D.Va is already in the top lane here, making sure that we are not losing on both sides of the map. And this will be another hard push by amateur opponents with that Sylvanas and the Mortar Punisher. And yeah, like Greymane, he needs to get rather close to this Punisher. Stitches can do absolutely nothing against the Punisher. We saw how that one worked out last time. And with the Black Arrows here being immediately used on this fort, I must feed. They are not even trying to defend that one. They are just falling back further into behind the gates. And they're gonna bait this one over. Here we go. Stitches, however, is gonna eat a lot of damage here. Cactus throws the shade over the wall, trying to get some extra damage into Stitches. The Mortar Punisher is almost done. How much more damage can we do here? They're opening the wall. Can we get the second tower too? Yeah, they do. And the Mortar Punisher is cleared. So now it's already a 2-level lead on the side of amateur opponents. 2 Punishers in their favor, and you can see how much damage they can do with that Sylvanas push. Camps are being picked up now, and I must feed. They are looking, they are fishing here. They need a kill, they need to make something happen. And maybe this works out for them. Butte Holiday is the target, but with the ult they are just safe. However, Sonya was in the back trying to get the flank, and actually in the end it works out 2 for 1 in favor of amateur opponents. Cassidy doing his best to get some return damage here into them, but with 2 men down, I must feed. Cannot really make any big plays here. And this is something which has happened all the time. So we are 7 to 1 kills here. Amateur opponent absolutely in the driver's seat of this game so far. And this is a best of 3, so this is a big game here to get into the semi-finals. From the semi-finals and finals, this will be a best of 5. But right now, it's all new. Oh, we have a Gorge on the Chromie. D.Va is going out to zone, but here comes a timeout. And Ulysses on that Sonya is in the backline. Butte Holiday trying to survive with the light bomb, but it's not gonna happen. Healer down on the side of amateur opponent. Is this where the cookie crumbles? 2 kills in favor of 4. I must feed. And we'll find another one here maybe on Cactus. He tries to dash away, but it's not gonna happen. So that's another kill in favor of I must feed. And this is exactly what they need. So now they are only half a level behind them. And this was against a level 16 team. So this is a huge win on the side of I must feed. And they get their camp out, of course. And we see amateur opponent shaken, but still focused on playing the map here, getting this camp out before the invade comes in. Stitches, however, is gonna look for that hook. Misses. So that camp is gonna get cleared out, and this was more like a denial where members of amateur opponent, they did not really expect this camp really doing anything for them. It was just to make sure That I Must Feed does not grab that one as well. So might see another blind hook here maybe. Stitches is looking for it. But the time trap reveals him, so for opponents may know. Here comes the hook. Oh, barely misses. How did that one slip through? In between Chromie, Sylvanas, and I think it was May. And now we have a fight over the shrine. 8-5 so far. Here comes Rage. Stitches falls. Here comes Stay Violent Listen. Where is the bomb? Chromie just times that one out. Tacita falls in the meantime in the back line. Ice Wall. Who is that in there? Well, we will see. It was Greymane. Alright, Deckard and Dee were the only survivors of that fight, and amateur opponent. They win another big one here. And this should give them another Punisher. And this one is a Frozen Punisher. So we will see the structures being disabled by the Frozen Punisher. And then afterwards by the Black Arrows. And it looks like they're gonna play this one slow here on the side of amateur opponents. They want to make sure that they get this camp out as well, and they're holding the Punisher at 39 skeletons. Making sure that they get split pressure in top lane as well. I mean, in theory they could even just go and just keep soaking. Maybe they can even get level 20. Like if their opponents are not doing anything, they could just like keep going like that. Maybe get a level 20, but they decide to take it. And now we're walking in. Split pressure in the top lane. This is Sonya being gorged. Can they get her out of that? Sonya behind the wall, actually being just dragged by Andrin, so no problem there. Nice play by Butte Holiday. No panic. And Frozen Punisher is already on the keep. Hook was out, did miss. Punisher, this is gonna be some roots here. You see the ping on the keep. Amateur opponent, they want to kill the keep, but however there is a Stitches and he's just too tasty to let slide. And so that one goes out. And where is the keep? Greymane on 35, last hitted by the Punisher before he gets destroyed by the core. MVP Punisher, we are giving his life for another kill. And we see Raging Sonya on the core. Level 20 is coming in. 3 people dead now on the side of I Must Feed. I am not sure they're gonna be able to defend this one. The roots come out. May is pretty low, but she's not the issue here. The issue is all the other heroes who are hitting the core, and that is GG. As amateur opponent take game number 1 in a commanding fashion. Here we are. Chromie doing a lot of work on the side of amateur opponents, but Sylvanas not far behind that one either. Yeah, so I Must Feed, they had one point where it looked like maybe they can come around here. They got the triple kill against level 16, I'd say. But it was not enough in the end. The lead was already too far, and I Must Feed was not able to capitalize these kills into more advantage. Snowballing that. Alright. So now let's go and have a look. This one. So Infernal Shrines picked by amateur opponent, won by amateur opponents. We will see to continue here. Fine. Chapter. Let's see what we have. Alright, I must feed. Go with the map pick. They are bringing us towards Gaia Found. Don't think anybody will change players here. Like anyway. So far, no new players. No exchanges happened here. I think Attacker took the upper level mini bloodlust of that team. They could have. Yeah, the mini bloodlust on Greymane and Ruler. Sure. Alright. So, actually now I can have a look here into the standings while we are waiting for ready. Okay, so I must feed, did remember right, I must feed on the 3rd rank amateur opponent on rank 6. 2 points behind them. So that was the round robin, and we are now in the quarterfinals. As it was just displaying down there. Amateur opponent they won against I must feed. So even though the I must feed with the better overall standing, it seems like amateur opponents have their number here. Okay, one team is ready. 2. We are waiting on him. So, what's Gaia Foundry? I think in size, in the way the objectives work, like this area you have to defend, you have to zone them out. That's kind of similar between these two maps. So I'm curious why I must feed they decided to go towards Gaia Foundry here. Maybe they have something special planned. We will see as we go into the draft. So now the question is Sagara good enough that she also needs to be banned out on Gaia Foundry? Amateur opponent, they have the first pick. They banned out with Sagara last game, so they will certain. Oh, well, actually, they'll do. They will do ban out with Sagara. So okay, that's the answer to that question. I was thinking like maybe amateur opponent if they really like the Sagara, as they respect Sagara as being a good hero, that they maybe leave it open and let it be on the side of I must feed to make this decision if Sagara is strong enough to be banned out here. And they go now and ban the Sylvanas. And for Balaban. So I think these are exactly the same bans as we have seen in the game before by amateur opponent. And apparently I must feed they did not like the Sylvanas of the last game. So they decide to get rid of. And Stukov bans coming up. First pick on the side of amateur. What's it gonna be? They're taking their time. May. I did like my May. I think May was pretty solid. So why not? It's a similar, as I said, it's a similar map, similar objective. But May worked really well for him with all the zoning over the objective, setting up some place with the blizzard and the dash in, the knockbacks, also the ice wall got value. So May just a very solid first pick here, does not really show anything. And we see Lunara Ufer. That's interesting. Because that might be a double support or something. Might have a double support, maybe we see tank Ufer. Lots of options here with a move. Okay. Comes Anna and Chromie. So we're sticking to their guns here. Instead of Anduin, they pick Vienna, however. So far no Stitches on the other side. And maybe it is the tank Ufer here. So maybe no Anduin needed, right? Tykes being banned out. So that signals to me that they still want to go something like Stitches. Or something big. Maybe Diablo. Maybe you're gonna see a Chagal, who knows? Probably not. There are two being banned. So this is exactly the same bans on the side of Amateur Opponents. So they're basically saying these are your best heroes, we don't want to deal with those. And whatever else you bring to the table, we don't care, we can beat it. Let's see if that holds true. Bear or the King of Us with tank. He's gonna go with Malganesi, and we see Deathwing, so this is where Tychus then came in. Big frontline on the side of on the side of I Must. How will they shred through this on the side? Amateur opponent. I mean, these are some hefty big bodies in front of that Chromie. Putting the damage on the targets who actually matter will be pretty tricky. Rainer and Leoric. So Leoric, that's where tank buster here on the side. Amateur opponents getting through these big hit points. And last pick, Yiming. Okay. So the idea on the side of I Must Feed, you know, a lot of CC, hard and soft CC, and getting some kill with that Li Ming. And on the other side, what do we have here to save people? We have a blind on Mei. We have some heals. Later on also cleanses and burst heals on the side of Anna. And hopefully Leoric, who tries to go through these tanks' hit points before they become too annoying. Interesting draft. So Amateur opponent with a 1-0 lead here. Can they close it out, or will we see a game number 3? We have I Must Feed, North Terror on the Li Ming, Sudden Bears on Deathwing, Mr. Fiend on Lunara, Bigali on Uther, and did I miss someone? Feel like we missed someone. Yeah, here. Kingle on Morganas. On the other side, we have Amateur opponents with Ulysses on Leoric, Miji on Mei, Sonic's Bro on Chromie, Mute Holiday on Vienna, and Cactus Ham on Rainer. And we see the obligatory 5-man clash in the middle. And first damage is being poked out. Sagana's going with his sleep darts. And Donara is putting some poke damage here into Lorik in the bottom of the screen. And the wave advantage on the side of I Must Feed, like in the last game. But as we saw, you need a little bit more than that to make it work in the end. King sitting in the bush. Some annoyance here on the rotations on the side of opponent. And still they get the better wave clear. Liming damage obviously not needed on that wave, and both teams are going immediately for the turret camp. So it's mid wave, top wave, mid wave, and then go for the camp. Pretty standard here by both teams. And I Must Feed a little bit faster with these wave clears, but so far not a big issue here. Solo laners are doing their thing, unbothered by all these people who are just taking camps all around them. And the 4v4 brawl continues. Romy already has a level 4 talent, of course. Goes with the time trap, which shreds armor. Nice sleeping dart here by Anna, making sure that Mal'Ganis does not get any more value on that Reyna. And Mei is actually getting pretty low here. So far, no issues. Mal'Ganis going for a dash. Nice disruption on the rotation so far on the side of I Must Feed. They're keeping their opponents nice and low by just putting all this poke damage into them whenever they want to make a rotation from top into mid. So Anna is pretty busy healing everybody up all the time. But still far away from being out of mana. However, the tap went out, and that might be a factor later. Then the real fight over the objective starts. See Leroic now on double soaking duty as both teams are taking their camps. And Leroic is just fine. Cromie with a proper greeting. Going for more damage on stunned, rooted or slowed enemy heroes. Oh, but watch out, we have a fight over here. Reyna is getting picked. The 4-man of I Must Feed gets the first blood here. Over amateur opponents, Reyna being caught out. And yeah, these are like these constant disruptions I was talking about before. This time they even get the kill out of it. And you know, their thing is just chilling on the point. While the rest of the team is taking out the Medicamp. So that's a nice item advantage now on the side of I Must Feed, and they're now going after this Lorik. He's getting pretty low. Getting poisoned, but he has to tap up. Okay, Reyna is back in action. Ooh, it's a big glow, however, from Li Ming. Has the self-heal and the heal for mana to get back into the fight, however. Overtime being reached, but immediately being captured now on the side of amateur opponents, because I Must Feed, they decided, well, no, I want another item here. And now they come in with 4 items in hand. Time stops, double stun. Here Mei in trouble, gets the armor, but is getting shredded nonetheless. Reyna falls in the meantime in the backline, and that's the first reset for Li Ming. I think this protector will go in favor of I Must Feed. And what did they use? They used 2 turrets and the healing beacon. So yeah, this first kill gave them that extra turret. Gave them the healing beacon. And also enough time later to get that extra turret. So here we are with that protector who is going into bottom lane, but is also pretty far in the back. So they still have 30 seconds on this one, but eventually they want to get done something with it. I'm not quite sure what they are waiting for here. I mean, there's a Leoric and an Honor. Yes, they do damage, but if you just walk around with it, you will not get any damage out of yourself. And yeah, so this first Protector on the side of I Must Feed, I'm not sure they got really the most value out of this one. They decided to go into bot lane, they did get level 10. And let's see if that's good enough. I mean, they do get the pick on Chromie. Double hop by Lunara. And now they are capitalizing on level 10. Actually, they're already getting very low. They're below 500 hit points. Almost being picked up by Li Ming. And Reynor is on double soak duty in the top lane and mid lane against Deathwing, while the push continues here in the bottom. Front wall open, so this will be important for Protector number C. And it might also be beneficial for Deathwing. Leoric needs to be careful here. There comes the stun by Uber and good by Leoric. So it's back into ghost mode for him. 4 kills so far in favor of I Must Feed. And they really want to bring the series to the 3rd game, so it looks like at least. As they are making their way back into the bottom lane. So I think the strategy here by I Must Feed is maybe we can get this fort down in bottom lane, and this gives us a good fight over the top Protector, because then we have catapult pressure in the bottom lane running against amateur opponents, and eventually they have to react to that or risk in getting more damage into this bottom lane, and then the Protector number C will really hurt. So this is a very far forward looking strategy on the side of I Must Feed. Banking on that Protector number B going into their hands. Nevertheless, whether they opened up the top lane and got rid of this fountain or not, which is what you would normally do. Back to Sam dishing out the damage here. Morganis is actually in trouble. There comes for healing reduction by Anna, and Morganis gets out of it. We haven't talked about ults yet. Ufra hasn't even picked it. He's on level 13 now, so unless he picks an ult, there will be no level 13, and Li Ming is out of position, getting picked off. So we oh, actually, no, sorry, that was level 13. So level 10 was picked. Divine Shield was picked. It was level 13 which was not picked. So I was just not seeing it right. Carrion Swarm, by the way, on the Morganis. On the side of amateur opponents, we see the same stuff as before. We see Nano Boost, we see Slowing Stand, Hyperion, Ice Wall, and Tomb. So, two nice ways to entomb someone here with the Ice Wall or with the Entomb itself. And the first channel goes in favor of amateur opponents. Reynor and Mei in the lane, however, nice knockback by Reynor, making sure that this last stun does actually not hit on him. Back to Sam getting out of there pretty low. Oh, big damage here coming out from Li Ming. North also jumps the ice wall. It's overall a pretty big place on the side of Li Ming here. And it's time for amateur opponents to shrug it off and all tap and all go back in and see what we can make happen here. Now it is actually I Must Feed are getting pretty low, but Chromie is the first one to fall. They are on the Ana in the backline, and it's now looking very disconnected on the side of amateur opponent. They need to make sure that they cut their losses here. Mei is in, dashes out, and it remains on this one kill. And yeah, so this very big front line, it's working out pretty well for amateur opponent. Chromie does not find the damage on the targets she needs to find the damage on that squishy Lunara, who is also pretty hard to hit, on that Li Ming, which is also pretty hard to hit. And everybody else she can easily hit. Doesn't really matter much, because they have so many hit points. So that's an Ice Ball on Morganis. Becomes the sand slow, but doesn't matter, because Morganis just triple dashes out of that one. Deathwing comes in to join the party, giving up the channel for a while just to make sure that the team is fine. And yeah, so how are we gonna play this here now on the side of amateur opponents? Anna's taking a big orb into the face and Lunara finishes the job, and here comes the reset party for Li Ming, getting 2 so far. Will it be more? This is the 3rd, and Mei should fall here too. This is 4 kills in favor of amateur opponent, who are putting a similar show here than sorry, I think I said this wrong. This is 4 kills in favor of I Must Feed, who are putting on a similar show than amateur opponent in the previous map. And obviously this Protector going all the way into the bottom lane again. Deathwing split pushing in the top. And amateur opponent they just want this bottom one. This is all they want during this entire game so far. And this time we are going straight at it. No big delay. Of course everybody was dead on the side of amateur opponent, so that makes things a little bit easier. And the split push continues with Deathwing in the top lane and the mid lane. Protector is here now, opening up that bottom wall. And yeah, I Must Feed, they have worked on this bottom lane the entire time, so they have their eyes set on this 3rd Protector. They are now driving with Protector back. Top 4 falls in the meantime. Joint collaboration between Deathwing and Li Ming. And mid fort probably is gonna fall here too. Oh, but we have a big brawl in the bottom lane. Amateur opponent, we are saying, okay, you are 3 here, you are split pushing mid with 2, so let's have a little bit of a skirmish. And here comes Deathwing in. Ooh, is he gonna live main? No. Pretty low. And that is a nice time stop there by Chromie, making sure that Anna can survive. Will Cactus however survive? He does with a grenade and the shot by Anna. So Butte Holiday pretty busy this game, trying to keep everybody alive. That's a tall order. You know, there's a lot of poke damage here, and then you need to be careful about all these CC, which is coming towards your face. Pretty tough job description there. And Avatar opponents, we are just doing their best to keep the lanes in order and get a fighting chance over the bottom Protector, while we see I Must Feed. We are just taking all the items again. They already invaded the turret camp in the bottom lane, so that's 1 turret that amateur opponent will not get. And now they also got the can. Let's guard it here by Chromie, making sure that this Morgana's is being revealed and there will be no bad surprises. There's even the zoning slowing sands now. Amateur opponent, they want the camp too. So they are spending some resources here into getting that one out. And that's item number 3 for I Must Feed. They are really setting up. And they are pretty patient about it too. Like they know that bottom lane is looking pretty great for them. They have all the items. They have the bottom lane opened. There's really no need to make any extravaganza plays here. They're just waiting for that level 20, and then they have all the advantages in their hand to get this Protector on point C. And remember that the bottom lane wall is also opened up. Our opponent checking out. Find someone anywhere. Big pick, that would be great for them right now, but now it's level 20, so they probably have to disperse. Or will they try to fight against 20? This was already the last resort play here on the side of amateur opponents. At some point they have to make a stand. Will they just give up the Protector? And I mean, this might actually be not a bad idea. If they give a Protector, that means 2 people have to go into Protector. That means the backline, if it's not sitting inside the Protector, is a little bit exposed, right? Because the Protector does not have as many peels as Uther and Deathwing and Morganis. Deathwing sitting on the point, and that's item number 4 now for I Must Feed. And I think Amateur Opponent, they are doing this. They are just talking for 20 and they want to fight behind the Protector, making sure that they maybe find a kill there on some of his squishies. Then a couple of his frontliners are just not on the board. So they are going into the top lane and they're opening that one up a little bit. And this is mostly for the XP and for the off chance that they actually get this Protector defended. So that they have a win condition over the top lane. It also takes some pressure away from that top lane. Will otherwise constantly pressuring into them. But I Must Feed, they see what's happening here and they just push up. They make sure that this fountain is gone and they put in some extra damage into this keep. And now Amateur Opponent is in a really tough spot. They are shredding some of the turrets here. We see only Deathwing and Protector, and now Deathwing even drops out. And goes back in, however. So Protector, it seems like Amateur Opponent, MS Feed, they decided no, we don't want to expose our backline. We just put only one person in there. And they even get the kill on the Chromie. And now things are looking pretty desperate on the side of Amateur Opponents. Here comes the Ice Wall to buy some time. Deathwing was in Protector. They immediately go after this Loric. Deathwing, however, is getting pretty low. Cactus is just shredding away over this armor. And level 20 reach. Core still intact. They only lost the keep, and that was a given, right? That this Protector is gonna take down the keep, that was very clear. How much more they would get. So they found the kill on Chromie, but that's about it. And if there's like time for a comeback, I mean, this is it. This is where the Amateur Opponent now is on a level playing field with their opponents. Because they are both level 20. Did I Must Feed, who prepared this maps so much, did they not get out of it? Not enough out of it. With this last Protector. The one they have prepped the entire game. It netted them a keep. But was that enough? In a little bit of trouble here. Dashes out. Now I Must Feed. They are just collecting some of the items again. Big damage here by Li Ming and the Deathwing, and this is 2 people dead on the side of Amateur Opponent. Wait a second, yeah, Li Ming's gonna die. Damage, however, is still up on the side of Amateur Opponent, and if this damage keeps up, they might be able to defend the score. Let's see how this goes. 2 people down. Oh, Li Ming is actually falling very low. Good damage here by Chromie. Li Ming is basically out of a fight here. Needs to get the heals by Uther, but actually dodges the healing. And now Cactus M goes in trying to finish the kill on Li Ming. Here comes the sleep. This is Reina dead, this is Anna dead, and this should be game here. Deathwing has a counter kill, but how much will it do? Chromie is gonna go down as well, and this should be GG. Leori comes in, but I don't think he's gonna do much. Runara on the core. Core is down to 50%. And it looks like I Must Feed. They're taking us to map number 3. What else can you want? Very well drafted there on the side of I Must Feed. Going with this triple front line. And I don't quite remember when we saw the Chromie in the draft. I think it was pretty early. So we saw May opening. And then we saw, I think then afterwards this came Chromie and Anna. And I must feed, they just respond with a triple frontline. And shut down the Chromie. Like, yeah, sure, Chromie has the most damage here on the side of Amateur Opponent. But it doesn't matter, because all this damage was being soaked up by this frontline. And so far, the team which picked the map won the map. So let's see what Amateur Opponent they have a decision now to make. If they want the first pick in the draft or if they want to pick a map. And for those who came late, why did Amateur Opponent only have one map ban? They banned out the area map. The area map is not even in this overlay, so this is why you see only one ban on the side of Amateur Opponents. They had two, they used one on the area map. And we do see Cursed Hollow being picked on the side of I Must Feed. Oh, sorry. It was Amateur Opponents who decided they want the map, and Amateur Opponent picked First Hollow. What's going on here? Oh, they are switching sides. Okay, it looks like lots of shuffling happening now. Yes, this is gonna be the last map. We see the same teams, same players changed. And everybody is now on the correct side. A little bit of a delay here. All right, so let's take a look forward, and let's have a look what will happen here after winning this map. So if you go and type commands, then you will see exclamation mark commands. You will see the command to get the bracket. And if we go there, you see that Death and Delay and Clouded Minds After Dark, they have won their quarterfinals. And they are in the semifinals, they will play each other. On the other side, the Rodent's Couch won the third quarterfinal, and the winner of tonight, the winner of this map, they will go against the Rodent's Couch in the semifinals. And that will be a best of 5. Looks both teams are ready. And we are in the draft. Alright, so the Amateur Opponents be unshaken and just ban Zagara, Vala, Zeratul? Or will we see something different here? Amos feet were certainly adapted. So they decided, okay, Vet's awareness is the biggest threat here. So let's make sure that this one is off the board. Amateur opponents so far, they stick to the same draft's banning strategy. There will be more adjustments here. I must feed, they go with this 2 growth ban, the same ban as last time. Will it be the Vala ban again? So this is Cursed Hollow, this is a very different map to what we see before. The Furnace Shrines, Vorskaya Temple, quite similar. Now we see Cursed Hollow, and I think this will be a very different map. So amateur opponents, they say, okay, you got us on that one with a triple front line, so maybe let's now see how good are you on your macro play, how good are you on big maps. And we see the Anduin first pick here on the side of IMSP, so they are taking away that one maybe they are looking for the stitches. So they take away the Anduin to enable stitches. That might be an option. The Ming steal on the side of amateur opponents together with the Harker. So macro game is being tested. Or I must feed. Amateur opponents are saying, okay, here's our global, what are you gonna do? Can you play this game? Diablo and Zeratul. So Zeratul not being banned out this time. And I must feed, they say, okay. We get it. You will ban him on your third ban phase, so if you want him, we need to pick it now. And they pick it. And that results in a Chromie ban. Interesting. So maybe the Chromie picks had been actually a Chromie steal on the side of amateur opponents. Maybe both teams really like the Chromies. Right thing, yeah. I was just about to say there might be another global here available. If amateur opponent wants to go for double global, Brightwing is there. Zeratul is like kind of pseudo global. It's more like you don't know where he is, so he could be anywhere, and that makes him global. But I mean, in reality, he's only on lane, right? So you kind of have to play as if he would be in more than one, if he's not showing. There's the Varian as the main tank. Looking for the taunt on the Zeratul, which could be pretty rough. But there is an Anduin cleanse available. And overall we see on the side of amateur opponents, we see the double reset on Greyman and Li Ming. We had Go for Revolt already been seeing. Or but I think it was on the side of I Must Feed. And I Must Feed, they say, okay, you want resets? We pick Deathwing. Blood with your resets. But there's also Kel'Thas, who is on the squishy side. So he might be the target here. Or Zeratul. Like if Zeratul goes in and there's the taunt, I mean that spells doom, right? Against the Li Ming and the Greymane, he will just blow up. Just pop up. Diablo hard to kill, Deathwing hard to kill. So if Begalia on this Anduin needs to be ready to drag out the Zeratul if a taunt happens. Schrodinger's Globe. Yeah, I like that one. Indeed. Alright, we are loading into the game. Alright, let's start in the red this time. We have the amateur opponents. And it is Cactus on the Greyman, Butte on Deckard, Sonic's Bro on Li Ming, VG on Bavarian, and Ulysses on the Dehaka, going on a journey. On the other side, I Must Feed in the blue, Kingle on Diablo, Bigali on Andrew, and Lister Fiend on Kelthar, Sudden Bears on Deathwing, and North Terror on the Zeratul. Trying to be terrorizing on the Zeratul against a variant composition, pick composition, a blow up on the side, amateur opponent. Both teams in the middle. Zeratul is actually just splitting off, going and grabbing that vision. Sneaky little Zeratul, grabbing the enemy vision. The Harker is making his way into the bottom lane. And Li Ming is going into the top lane. So Li Ming, second offlaner here. Well, facing off against Kelthar, I guess that makes sense then. Varian taking back the division. And Zeratul off the map, being somewhere. For the eyes of amateur opponent, he could be everywhere. But he's actually on the camp. Here he is. Found him. The Orca facing off against Deathwing in the bottom lane. There's being some spray play going on there. And the two mages battling it out on the top lane. The curse actually happening in the top lane, so both teams opt for their topmost camp. Zeratul on the siege for Team Blue, for I Must Feed. And the hard camp is going out for amateur opponent, which goes into the mid lane. And then later, they will pick up the siege, of course. And it looks like the Bruiser camp is being immediately picked up here by I Must Feed. I wouldn't be surprised to see that they hold it for a little while, because Zeratul can just stand there, right? He can hold that camp, the prep camp, and still amateur opponent has to play like, hey, where's the Zeratul? Could be anywhere. But they pick it up anyways. They just pick it up. And prove me wrong. Here comes the gank on Kelthar, dodges the triangle, but still goes down as Varian comes in. And of course he picked the taunt. I should show you some talents. Here we are. You see already some potions being dropped here for that one, and Diablo is now coming in. So, Cactus Sam, very wise. Do not go in there. I think he saw them because of a vision. And also the potions, I think they give like a tiny bit of vision as well. So these potions actually serve double purpose. Not only did they prepare for Cactus to get some extra health, but it was mostly the vision, because Cactus can do this camp without actually losing any health. Zeratul is in trouble here, goes down to Greymane. And this invade on the side of I Must Feed, maybe it was a little bit much. In the meantime, this is happening. Two mages throwing stuff at each other. Denying the tribute. So that's the offlane battle you don't see every day. Varian tries to find a target here, finds the Diablo, getting smacked into the wall. And in the end, with the extra support coming in into the top lane by amateur opponents a little bit faster, they collect the first tribute in their favor. And also that camp went in their favor too, so I think overall amateur opponent is getting a little bit better out of this so far. But it's still pretty early in the game, and also Zeratul late game hero is popping off after level 16 really. Nice check here by Li Ming. Like, it's silent, it's too silent. I better throw some stuff into this bush. Very safe play there by Sonics. I'm fascinated by this mage battle in the top lane. Much more than the hardcore death thing battle in the bottom lane. Which is just like two sandbags slapping each other. But top lane, two mages, any mistake could be a kill very quickly. It's a spicy matchup there. Death Thing is in the air, the hardcore still in the bottom lane, and this is the Death Thing. Oh, he missed one. Oh, this time he got them both. I think he wants them both all the time. And Death Thing concedes that one. Yeah. Actually landed in the bottom lane because, yes, Death Thing can delay this forever, but you know, the hardcore will just push in bottom in the meantime, and we see both teams immediately jumping the boss. And the next tribute will be in bottom lane, so this one will be pretty hard to get for amateur opponents. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them actually giving that one up. And maybe do some pushing in the meantime, or just defend this boss, just making sure that this boss trade is a little bit in their favor. Rayman and Li Ming here in the top lane. Oh, Zeratul with a Void Prison. Here comes Apocalypse. Stun hits. Rayman in trouble. Can Cactus survive this? No. But a lot of ults being used here. Death Thing flies in as well as hi. I want to be part of this kill too. And that is a lot of long cooldowns being used here on Cactus Ham. On the Greymane. Li Ming's still alive on the top lane, however. And this boss is now being cleared. Greymane is back, so if they delay this for a little bit, they could decide to fight over this one. Both bosses got actually pretty much the same value in the end. Will amateur opponents try to disrupt this? They are doing so. We see Zeratul having a dance with Li Ming. Actually, Li Ming is up there in the top lane pretty low, but in the meantime the fight is in full pursuit down here. The hardcore is roaring out, Kingle on with Diablo, smacking people into the wall. Zeratul in the end gets the hold of Li Ming and is now on Decker. Diablo goes down, so this is a 1-for-1, but Diablo has the quick respawn and he will be back. Nice light bomb here, the hardcore falls. This is a 2-for-1 in the end. And it might be more. Cactus Ham is falling to Zeratul as well. So this is a 3-for-1 in favor of I Must Feed. And of course we get the tribute, which was on their side of the map. Both teams bruised, we are going back to take out some of these camps, preparing for the next tribute. Will there be enough time to get the booster camp out on the side of amateur opponent? That would be quite important to get that one out, just to make sure that this camp over here has some match against it. But on the other side, amateur opponent is losing position over this tribute in the bottom lane. They lost the vision. So maybe that camp was a little bit too costly, unless they say, okay, let's give up this tribute. Just do some split pushing in the top lane here. But they're hardcore, Zeratul is coming in. But they hardcore just borrows out of that one. So this tribute collected on the side of I Must Feed. I think amateur opponent, they gave that one up willingly. They did lose the fountain in the mid lane. I think that was still there before the camp came in. I Must Feed. So amateur opponent, they challenged them. I said, can you play the macro game? We are bringing you to the big map. And so far, I Must Feed, they're at least not losing it by much, right? Careful is going down. So now I must feed, they need to be careful. Zero Tool sitting in the bush. Looking for that juicy flank. Avatar opponent so far with his structure advantage. Kel'Thas will be back in time for this one. And I must feed they fall back behind the wall. And this fort, I mean it's still there. That thing is gonna kill it, bro. And here we go. Tribute is up. And this is a big one. Whoever gets this one gets the curse as well. The Haka taking some damage, but has the essence. And there was almost the channel on the side by Li Ming. But that thing is in the air and has the interrupt. Both teams playing their globals here. That thing comes down, ready for the fight, for the armor. And that was a very big blow up on the Zero to the taunt. And immediate follow up by Li Ming and by Grey Ming, and Zero Two is just toast. The Haka gets the heals, and they are looking for more. Curse Bullet is back up in 10 seconds. Here comes for protected on Varian. Nice charge by Diablo. Oh, but the globe hits! And that thing goes down. 2 kills in favor for amateur opponent, and now it's looking pretty good for them if they get enough value out of this curse. They're getting the siege camp out. And they have good pressure in the mid lane already. Bottom lane is gonna be pressured in by their Harker. And you might see just the lanes being a little bit proxied over here. So this might actually 1 fort down. Amateur opponent, they are going for the triple fort kill, but the Harker is in a lot, Deckard is in a lot of trouble. Someone makes it out of that. What is happening? How is this Deckard not dying? Here comes the light bomb on Zeratul. They are still on the Deckard, but they used a lot to kill this Deckard. And in the meantime, the triple fort play was successful. And I think this is a death Butte Holiday can absolutely live with. At the tail end of this curse, amateur opponents may opt to do the boss. No healer needed. They know that they can get it out before the enemy team can get their lanes in order. 6 to 5 kills now, and a 2 fort advantage in favor of amateur opponent, and that boss is marching to a keep, which is pretty low. So I think I must feed, they have to bite into the sour apple here and give up the bottom boss just to make sure they don't lose that top keep. Zeratul gets a sneaky camp here. Actually, Void Prison? No, it's not up yet. 8 seconds still on that one. If amateur opponent is a little bit slow on that boss, Zeratul would have certainly tried it. And this boss is actually, it's gonna take it down. Oh my. 156 left on that keep. I hope it's not windy on this map today, because that keep will just collapse if someone sneezes in its vicinity. Amateur opponent, they make themselves sparse and they just stick together as a 5-man team and clear some lanes, because I must feed, they are on the backfoot, they must react to so much stuff going into their base, trying to kill their keeps. And look at this keep almost dead, this keep basically dead. Amateur opponents with half a level lead, but they are not in the clear yet. And that's another camp now in favor of amateur opponents. Just marching against I must feed. And amateur opponent they feel like they must defend this curse, right? Because that tribute will be curse for I Must Feed, and they could start a big comeback if they get this curse now. So level 16 is reached. Zeratul is almost at full power. Level 20 will be better, of course. But he can do some stuff on level 16. Do we see the big combo here? Here comes a Void Prison. This is 3 people inside. There is the Apocalypse. 3-man stun. Light Bomb comes out. Big combo on the side of I Must Feed. They get the triple. And we are looking for more. Zeratul is on the Deckard. The Haka is in the clear on the top lane. And this is 3 people dead. And this is 3 people you need for this curse defend the most. Yeah, Deckard is just drinking. Oh, just drinking and dodging. Until the big bad demon comes in and just smashes his head against the wall. And this is 1-4 down in the mid lane. I Must Feed. I think they're running it down. They're going for it. They have Deckard dead. The other team members, however, are only 8 seconds dead, so I'm not sure they can go for core here. See the ping there. The Haka will be here. 3 people respawning. It's only Deckard who's missing. Level 20 still out of reach. If I Must Feed overstays here, this might come very bad for them. But they move out. The Haka still in the top lane, soaking for that level 20. Also making sure that this top fort is not gonna fall. Because that is the boss lane, and that boss is basically going straight for core. If there will be another boss for amateur opponents. The top lane or the bottom lane for modern builders. Any boss play would be really great for amateur opponents here. The Harker now leaving. It's getting a little bit too hot. Level 20 for both teams. 1 keep down on the side of amateur opponents. 2 keeps on a sliver of health on the side of I Must Feed. And another 1 full health. So, oh, the Haka. Oh, they're going for it. Here's the burrow. And the rest of the team comes in. Then they get them, however. Nice cleanse drag here. Zeratul is looking for VP, but amateur opponent, they are just dispersing, not clumping up, making sure that if he gets a VP, it's only on 1 person and they can deal with that. Zeratul in the top lane, putting some damage on that fort. The Haka is there, trying to disrupt him. The Haka gets pops the essence and to burrow. Here comes the rest of the amateur opponents. Both teams dancing around. They kind of want to fight, but they also kind of don't want to fight. And here comes the VP. Sleep by Deckard, but it's 3 people dead immediately. And that's another kill. And with another big VP combo play, I Must Feed. They have opened this keep already, and this time people are dead for a really long time. And I think this might be the end of it. I Must Feed, they are going for it. Here is the Phoenix, and we are just throwing everything on the core, and the only person who can really disrupt them here is a Deckard, and there's no ult available either. So this is just gonna be GG. Butte is already calling it. And oh my god, I Must Feed with 2 very clutch VPs. Taking the second game. And with a reverse sweep. Moving into the semi-finals. GG's indeed. You know, the numbers, these are not the biggest numbers we have ever seen in a Heroes of the Storm game, which went into level 20. Both teams playing the map a lot. Then there was a fight, it was quickly over afterwards. And that's gonna be it. I Must Feed moving into semi-finals, and they will move against the Rodon's coach. We will see how they will do there in a best of 5 series. So GG's to both teams, also to amateur opponents who were dominating on the first map, but then things fell apart on the second map on Volskaya Foundry with a triple frontline. And in the end, they fall to the VP Apocalypse combo on the side of really great series, and also the first one in the quarterfinals and the last one, which is decided by a 2-1. I think this was definitely the two teams which had been the closest so far in the quarterfinals, and yeah, it definitely showed. This could have gone in either way. Keep in mind, amateur opponent, they have beaten I Must Feed 2-0 during the round robin phase of the tournament, and here we are. I Must Feed with a reverse sweep. Alright, let me see. Can get someone into the interview booth. If not, that will be fun. But it looks like we're gonna have someone here. Alright. Yeah, let me get prepared.
Hello.
Hello. Give me 1 second. And we'll be with you.
Hello?
Oh.
Hello?
He cannot hear me. Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
So, give me a quick second so I can get the stream ready for this. And right, I think we should hear you now. Let's give it a shot.
All right.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah,
Hello.
you are here. You are alive. You won. Congratulations.
Whew, that was tough. Oh, man.
It was reverse sweep. So how was your mentality going into game number 2? What made it happen?
My mental was pretty solid. I think as some other people's mentals was booming pretty hard, especially since Amateur Opponents is a really good team and they got a really easy 2-0 on us in the regular season. But I can't even remember what we played. North, remember what we picked second game?
Game 2?
Yes. That was Volskaya.
Volskaya.
Yeah, we played Leeming, Lunar, Mal'Ganis, Uther, and Deathwing.
Indeed. So
They played
you
like
decided
most
for a
of
triple frontline over there. How did that happen? Was this your strategy to deal with the Chromie, or what was the idea?
We were thinking of maybe doing an Uther main tank, and then decided against it, so which is why we had Uther in there.
We were gonna run
And
double
Begali's
healer
good on
with
Uther. Yeah.
but they picked the Ana, so we wanted to avoid getting anti-healed into double healer.
Alright, yeah, it worked out great for you. It looked like all the Chromie damage just got stuck into this big beefy front line. And when you had the poke with Lunara. And yeah, you turned the series on its head with that 1-1. It looked very easy for you guys on Volskaya.
Yeah, until Chromie's dabbed on us a couple times with those W's and killed a couple of us on a core push. That was it's never an easy game until it's over. It's always a chance that, especially with these good teams, they're always, any mistake they're gonna punish. So you always have to keep your head on a swivel, especially when you're on a map like Volskaya where the objective isn't super great and it really takes a full team wipe to win.
Talking about the objective, you drove it into the bottom lane every single time. Like the first one, we see a lot of teams they go for the top fountain, right? But it seemed like you guys said, "I know, screw that. We know we're gonna win objective number B. Just let's finish. Let's open up bottom lane and prepare protector number C." And was what your game plan, or is it something just someone drove a thing into bot lane and it just happened like that.
I think that's play on North.
Yeah. So most teams like to take a top lane because it lets you take down the top well, which makes hitting the second objective easier. But in our mind, since the objective on that map is really, really awful, you might
Mhm.
as well just start setting up for the third one, which is basically the first objective in that game that has any potential to do major damage. So it's easier to open up bottom well and then open up bottom fort to give you better map control going into the third objective and hopefully end the game on third objective.
Yeah. So you did not end the game with a third objective, but you definitely opened it
We did
up.
not.
No, we did not.
You
Yeah.
definitely open it up a lot, and you get all the items because of it. I think you find another kill there as well, and so yeah, your constant pressure on the bottom lane eventually won you the game. It was not in the protector, but outside the protector it counts as well. And then amateur opponents, they decided, all right, let's go to a more larger map. Let's do some globals here. Let's test you guys on the macro. Were you prepared for the cursed holo game? Did you have something planned out already? Did you know that they're gonna pick a Dehaka, for example?
Well, we're comfortable on, I think, Cursed Hollow. We were worried about Zagara. And worried having to put a bunch of bans into, I don't even know what kind of macro stuff. Lost
characters.
Vikings, Juice
Yeah.
Pirates. So that's what we were really concerned about. And then they came out with a pretty strong blow up comp instead, which is scary on one hand, but also kind of relief on another because we were worried about some sort of humongous macro cheese.
Which did not happen. It was only a Dehaka in the end, right? And you had the death thing to mirror it, so it all went well. And then yeah, like, how about you explainers what was the turning point there and how you won the game in the end?
Level 10. Just getting APOC and VP with that comp. It's interesting to play because for like the first 7 levels, you can't really do anything, and it's very easy for the enemy team to invade you. But if you don't give them an opportunity to by pushing in the wave, and you can get to those late game talents on Zeratul with the Diablo to follow up, it can really catch people off guard with how much burst damage it outputs. So just I think scaling into the late game was what won us that game.
Yeah, and you had 2 very good VP epoch combos. The first one got you the curse. The second one won you the game. So very well played there.
Right. It's the character is so broken. It's just that ult is so strong. It's so hard to, even when you know it's coming, you have a comp like theirs where it's drafted really well to find Zeratul with Decker Ws and instantly taunt and blow him up. All he needs is to not be found for a quarter of a second, and so he can get in and press R, and then it doesn't matter if he lives or dies after that, as long as the rest of the team is there to follow up. It's broken, and I hate playing into it. I hate having people play against us. So I know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, you feel pretty helpless there. Sitting in VP and you know exactly what's gonna come. There's nothing you can do against it. Yeah, it's a pretty good combo for sure. And then there's also the constant harassment by Zeratul, right? Like, even if he doesn't do his combo, he just blinks in, like, takes off half the health of that Li Ming and blinks out again. I was like, oh, cool, that happened. So yeah, congratulations again, guys. You are now facing Rodan's couch in the semifinals. Do you want to throw something to them right now on stream?
I'll throw them love and affection. We're looking forward to it.
How did you play against them during the season?
I think we squeaked out a lucky 2-0 against them.
But we just learned that this isn't worth much in the playoffs.
Yeah, apparently. That's yeah, right. Shout out to obviously my team, our team. Great job, and amateur opponents for having a bunch of great series this season. Thanks for casting. North, do you have any shout outs?
I'd like to thank the Academy I don't know. I guess XGDI for hosting the tournament. Thank you. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you guys for coming in
Yeah.
and having a chat. And yeah, so as I just said, you guys will be against the Rodon's coach in the semifinals. It's a best of 5. It's something we don't get to play that often in our amateur series. So I'm looking forward to see how you guys are doing, and I think you guys are looking forward to play it. And with that, goodbye everybody, goodbye chat, and see you around.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. You heard it. These were the members of I Must Feed. It was North and Sudden Bears, plural. And yeah, best of luck in the semifinals to you again. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you had fun. I certainly had fun casting it. See you next time.